Good morning, everyone, and how is your week going so far? I can tell you this much, my day yesterday was actually pretty good, with a few exceptions. We've had some rather gusty wind in the last day or two, and let me tell you, it has not made things easy. Anyway, I did start on something yesterday. I wanted to show this to you, and thankfully I have it like right here. For those of you who've never played a tabletop role-playing game before, there you go. This is a great book. There's a whole series of them. This is the first one, The War-Torn Kingdom, and you can make a character sheet on an index card like so. And all you need is a couple of six-sided dice, which are the most common dice available, and this is a game you can play. It's going to look like you're reading a book, but occasionally you throw a couple dice just to see how your combat and all that stuff works out. There you go. Fabled Lands, pretty good stuff. Not being paid to talk about them, I just kind of look at it and say, you know what, I enjoy that kind of stuff, and I do. So I took it to work last night and started playing, and quite enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun with it. So, traditional Thursday, we're doing this just as we did when we started the channel. We got some Oracle cards, we've got some Tarot cards, and we're going to read them all. And you're going to hear power tools in the background because apparently they're still renovating on an apartment, so that's just how it goes. Sorry if the noise intrudes, but yeah, that's kind of been the leitmotif of things, hasn't it? We're going to hear a lot of it. But anyway, today I got the Viking Oracle, got the Spirit Animal Oracle, I've got Tarot Grand Luxe, which is one of my, I love the artwork on that deck. I really kind of dig the backgrounds, this jester type of background. I really dig that, or the backing rather, not background. So we're going to look at 3 of those. I also have the Enchanted Map Oracle, and I've got Runes of the Gods. And here's the really fun part. If you follow me on social media, my Twitter has been active lately. In the past couple days since Elon Musk's offer to purchase Twitter was accepted, it's been super active. I've had a lot of fun on Twitter. That's the other thing. Normally, Twitter is one of those places that's almost a battleground, but no, lately, a lot of really fun people showing up. People who are, generally just there to have a great time and chat about different things, and you know what? I'm good with that. I'm good with every day not being a damn battleground. I'm good with the talk of this is racist, this is white supremacist, and the target lately has been the movie The Northman, which I haven't seen yet. I will be waiting. I've heard great things about it. The negative reviews have been from people who won't go watch it. I'm just, so far I hear good things, and I've heard, and this is what's making me want to see it even more now, aside from that awesome trailer, the trailer was great, what's making me want to see it is the fact that someone actually pointed out that it's a retelling of the Shakespeare play Hamlet, which I'm okay with that. Want to know how okay with it I am? I watched Sons of Anarchy, which I don't look at that as a reflection of biker culture, though that was in there. It was definitely a retelling of the Shakespeare play Hamlet, which is one of my favorite plays. Also, speaking of Shakespeare, you will occasionally find me yucking it up with Vincent Charles, one of my favorite Twitter followers and one of my favorite Twitter follows. about Shakespeare itself, and he has been very kind to share videos of Patrick Stewart going head-to-head with another actor for Merchant of Venice, which is one I'm not familiar with, but I watched them kind of battle act. They would be presented one scene from it, and they would go back and forth over their interpretations. It was really, really fun to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Anyway, we'll say we get down to some reading today. Let's get to the reason you were here. So, start with you. Sunstone. You're going to have to find your true north today. In finding yours, you will also help others. Your guide, Frithgeard, the land of peace, refuge, solace. You know, I've been looking and seeing, especially on Twitter, because that's where I really spend a lot of my time. Believe it or not, these little places that you see in the corners here, I'm also there, but high-fiving is down at the moment. And last I heard, high-fiving server suffered a catastrophic failure that it's just too expensive to fix right now. It was one guy running it. But I still keep it here. I still keep that graphic up because it's important. Because when high-fiving comes back, ladies and gentlemen, you're more than welcome to join me there as well. You're more than welcome to join me at speakyourmindhere.com, pill.net. You know, I'm not really getting a whole lot of traction over at pill.net. Speakyourmindhere.com, I get some there. And I also get some in other places like MeWe.com. I am there. You can come find me there. As a matter of fact, where can you find me? Linktree in the description below. Come hang out with me. Doesn't matter where. Wherever you want to hang out with me. Just pick a spot and pull up a chair and virtually speaking and come hang out. But I can tell you this right now. And as far as the reading goes, finding those places, those little places of refuge. For some of us, this is it. You know, it's nice to kind of get away from the world every once in a while, and if you can't go out on vacation, check out mentally, right? Check out of the chaos for a while. Unplug. Get out into the woods. Go find a stream and sit near it and just listen to the water. Whatever it is, when you find your inner peace, after all this turmoil, after all this chaos, it's kind of impossible to be drawn back into the drama because you're like, no, I'm good. Now, so, your refuge is like a flame. You need to be like the moth drawn to it. What is a, like, just forget flames, right? You have a porch light, you probably got a couple moths around it. The moths, a moth at night will give itself over to light. Sometimes to its own detriment, yes. Sometimes that moth will burn itself alive. But when they go to a light bulb, they stay right there. They stay right there at the light, they ignore the darkness around it. They concern themselves only with the light. They completely surrender themselves over to it. That's where you need to be. That's what you need to do. We've talked a lot about looking internally, some meditation. That could possibly help. Now you need to find a place you can go to do that. I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's a physical place or a mental place, you need to be there. You need to find that inner peace. You need to find that mental peace. You need to find that spiritual peace. Whatever it is. Take yourself out of the drama for a little while. You know, one of the, there was something else that popped up on Twitter last night. It showed a group of guys, and it says, well, guys, the odds are stacked against us, but we're going to face this down, and it's either going to be death or glory. Either way, it's glory. And the next picture showed a guy who was really not having a great emotional time of it, and someone comforting him. And the question was, guys, is this true? And my response was, look, listen to me, humans. I need you to listen very closely. Catharsis. Everyone needs it. You cannot keep yourself embroiled in drama or in stress or in this. You can't keep yourself embroiled in chaos and expect, to be healthy. You need to take a break from it occasionally. You need to let all that out. Whether it's the old primal scream or whatever. I don't care what your catharsis is. If you gotta throw yourself in the mud for a little while and roll around in it, if that's what it is, if that's what does it for you, do it. Might seem crazy, but guess what? You'll be a little more well adjusted than most around you who keep themselves embroiled in the drama. So, I really want you to take that in, because that's a great message. Whatever it is, find your light. Find that thing that lights you up and just give yourself over to it for a little while, because it's going to help you. So, let's check it out, right? In the tarot, I've got reversals. Why do I have reversals? Did I lay these down upside down? I think I probably did. And you know what? I'm probably going to just read them that way. And I totally did. I totally reversed the deck. So guess what? We're going to play it as it lies. I'm going to read reversals. We've got a 9 of Swords in reverse. That means the thing that's keeping you up at night is going the hell away. You're dealing with it, and you're dealing with it very, very well. Over here, we've got the World in reverse. So this isn't more about birthing yourself out. This is more about going back in for a little while. Because if you look at it, there's very obvious symbolism here, ladies and gentlemen. And this way, it's about being born. And this way, it's not. The World in reverse means that you do need to get away from that for a little while. It means you need to go back. Go back to the point of origin here. Let's see. I want to see if I'm right. I just want to look for a minute. Doesn't give me reversals, so that's okay. But this is the coalescence of elements in, when it's like this, it's a coalescence of elements. This is a separation of elements. They're not going to come together. They're apart right now. And then over here, we have a 3 of Swords in reverse. So, a little more happiness here. There's a happiness in simplicity. Right? Keep in mind, this is the first ever time I'm reading reversals on this channel or anywhere. But the 3 of Swords, that is a heartbreak card. I'll show you the... Everybody knows this one. This is one you don't want unless it's reversed. Now that you've got it reversed, it's about healing. Get out of the chaos for a little while, ladies and gentlemen. Heal yourself. Give yourself time to breathe. Let's go to the Enchanted Map Oracle. Let's look at the map. We've got flying. We've got Ghostlands. And we've got a dry desert. Flying you can really get a sense of that labyrinth. See that labyrinth down below? You can get a real sense of where you're going when you're up above it. But when you're down in it, it's a mass of confusion, isn't it? It can be. Sometimes it is. But you do have the power to see things from a much higher perspective now. Or you will. So, you do have invisible wings today that allow you to swiftly bring your circumstances into alignment with your highest purpose. So, that's the sign that the waiting's over, all your hard work will pay off, and the things you hope for are no longer beyond your scope, because you have ability to reach for the stars and find one with your name on it. Get me? Okay, so that's flying. Get a better perspective of the labyrinth that you've been stuck in for a while. Now the next one is Ghostlands. Let me tell you something about Ghostlands. You've learned from the past. You can create a very beautiful future. But you have to live in the here and now. See, whenever you set your sights too far ahead, you're going to run the risk of losing your footing, because rarely do the present and future match up exactly on the map. And that map is your life story. Let me tell you something, the future has absolutely no substance right now. What's going to happen at work today has absolutely no substance. I'm not telling you what's in your future, I'm telling you, if you continue your course, which is what's displayed in these cards today, then your immediate future looks pretty bright. And if you just continue that course, yeah, looks pretty bright. But you can change that. It can be a very dark future if you stay chained to the past. Well, let's go into the desert for a little bit. So, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to dig deep. You're going to have to become very resilient and very adaptable. I would not be surprised if Ivaz pops up, because this means being a little flexible. Remember what we talked about, being a little too rigid in your thoughts? Being a little too set on opinions? Yeah, that's what this is talking about. Can you dig deep and find that inspiration? Can you be a little flexible? Can you just shrug off some of the things that annoy you for the day? That's one I gotta ask myself too. I have a little bit of an issue with that sometimes. So let's go to the runes and find out what's going on. We've got Hagalars. We've got Uruz. And we've got Thurisaz. So, starting with this, there's going to be some changes. I know we say we want those changes. We really do, man. We want things to change for the better, but here's the thing, the better for whom? You want things to change for the better for you? Well, you might want to get to work. It will disrupt your life. Your life is not going to be one of convenience. But then you move into Uruz, this transitional card, which means that you're going to have to display some kind of resiliency and strength, and we're pointing right here at the dry desert. There's hardly an oasis in sight, and because you will be presented with absolute challenges, and you're going to have to work to overcome those challenges. Remember, Thor came up yesterday, and Thurisaz is the first letter of Thor's name written in runic. The storm can't consume you if you are the storm. Get what I mean? So a lot of things are reversing. We're seeing that kind of stuff, but the good news is it's reversing for the better. It's all happening for you and for me right now. And the more easily we can kind of glom onto those changes, the better. You know, we claim we want change, and the changes come, and we're pining for the the old one again, right? I know, because I've been there. You know, you leave one job for another, and a couple weeks into that job, you're like, man, wish I could go back to the old job. That was a lot more comfortable. Then you get that paycheck and you realize, was it any better? Right? So, you have to make peace with how things change. And that's all of us. The only thing that never changes is that everything changes. You're really going to have to find your calm center. You're going to have to find that light. You're going to have to do what lights you up. You're going to have to keep focus on your passions and the things that really drive you. Become that driven individual. Really reach for it. Eventually, that little disruption in your life is going to become as comfortable as that chair that you sit in, that favorite chair, whether it's at your computer desk or in front of the TV. It's going to become just as comfortable as that. But you do need to take a break occasionally. You need to figure out how to quit freaking out. Just walk right into it and watch what happens. But that's everything I've got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you all. Please take care of yourself and others around you. I'm talking to you right now, you watching this. You directly. Always do what lights you up at every opportunity. And if you can't get the absolute most out of it, sometimes, hey, can't get everything you want, sometimes you just get what you need. Right? Now this is where I find it. Right here, taking a little mental break. Maybe about an hour a day. Something like that. Get out. Escape every once in a while. Do something a little dangerous. Do something others would consider dangerous. Right? As always, my friends, shine on. Post-credit scene. This one I think I'm actually going to include. So as many of you who've joined us on High Notes, by us I mean Moots and myself, some of you may know that I've been teaching her tarot and oracles and things like that. And when I say she's come a really long way in a very short period of time, I mean, in comparison to me, she really has. You know what? I think I'm going to use this. I think I'm going to use this deck right here. This Enchanted Map. Just to. This will be for the High Notes reading today. But anyway, she shared that one of her cards had become reversed rather unexpectedly. And she just decided to read it as it was, and the reading came out very nicely. So, that was a moment when I realized student has surpassed teacher. she really ran with it, and she did really well. And guess what? I decided, you know, even though I screwed up and laid the whole deck in reverse, I figured that's a little sign, you know. That's a sign that maybe it was time for me to step out of the comfort zone a little bit. There we go. So that's going to be for high notes. And I decided to just read it as it lied, taking the advice of that card. Just surrender to it, let it roll, see what happens. We could all do with a little more of that, and guess what? I'm absolutely relieved that that reading worked out. It worked out really well in my opinion. I hope it works out for you too. I hope that you're able to take it and roll with it, and hope that you're able to use the information in the reading today to help someone else. If I'm going to tell you to be bold and courageous and step out of your comfort zone, well, I need to be doing it myself, shouldn't I? Yep. That's a fact. Also, I managed to screw up something else. Yeah, the 3 instruction cards had been shuffled right into the deck. Thankfully, we got 3 rune cards and not some instructional cards today. Oh boy. Like I told you, ladies and gentlemen, one take uncut and that's it. That's how we do things here. What I really like are those swords cards. Those swords cards showing you that the time for heartbreak's over. The time for worry is over. You may not have to hold on to every little thing to release that total control, because it's not healthy, ladies and gentlemen. It's not healthy, dear viewer. And that's what I want. I want you to be happy. I want you to be healthy. I want you to succeed. I want you to get out there every day and just own it. As the Ultimate Warrior would say, get out there and own it. And there we go. Lots of voices in the hallway there. Lots of stomping and tromping around. It's alright. But yep, I'm going to leave it at that because I really think the message is this. It's okay to screw up. You're going to screw up. You're going to mess things up in the most epic of ways, and you know what? That's fine. You're going to fail. You're going to fall. Just remember, when you do, fall forward. Always try to fall forward, because you can control it that way. When you fall forward, you can fall just like this. You fall back, you have no idea what you're falling into. Always fall forward. Here we go. I'm just going to take these down now. I'll be placing those back on my grid, and I'll see you on high notes. Love you guys.